but there were times I had to get him man-to-man.
And your favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's like the games like you play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks when they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 3 sacks on them. In the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to West War Room Rivals, where rivals collide. I am your host, Cody, for this morning's pregame show. Let's kick it off with some roll call. Shovix, kick us off.
I'm Austin, representing third place Chiefs.
I didn't realize we were letting the new guy host tonight. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Corey. I'm representing first place Broncos.
Matt.
I'm Matt, representing Broncos country as well. What's up, newbie?
Caleb.
I'm Caleb, representing Bolt Fan.
And I'm Cody. I'm the new guy. I'm hosting today. I showed up every now and again, and I'm like that coworker that calls off and then only shows up when there's nothing important going on. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Guys, what have I missed in the week that I've been gone? Anything good?
Man, there's been a lot, honestly. And again, we told everybody, it's not necessarily 100% your fault that you were gone, but at least you came back.
Yeah, I brought milk and I got my pack of cigarettes, so I think we're ready to go.
Hell yeah.
How was interviewing what is his name, Michael Barrett?
Yeah, it was good. Real good dude. High energy.
Oh yeah.
Great stories, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Like he deserves to be a media personality. Like he's a character in itself.
Absolutely.
Well, when we go big time and we have our own network, he can be our baseball correspondent. What about that?
It's a good idea.
I dig it.
Hell yeah.
All right. Before we continue, I do want to say that this episode is sponsored by JBW Solutions. We are recording in the JBW studios currently. Also, shout out to Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Field Ops Kansas, and now the new sponsor of the War Room, Rival Codes. So Rival Codes is a sports apparel company that has rivals from area codes of phone numbers for territories that are in rival codes right now. So they are at rivalcodes.com. You guys can get 10% off now if you use the code RIVALS, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Caleb?
Rivals 10.
Rivals 10 to get 10% off your purchase if you guys go to rivalcodes.com. You guys can follow them at Rival Codes Official on Instagram and Facebook today. The official partners of the War Room. So welcome, Rival Codes. We're actually really excited for this sponsorship. Caleb, hell of a job for nailing them, dude.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm super excited for it.
Now I just need to pull my own weight to get a sponsor because I think everybody else has gotten one. So I think I'm in line.
No, it's not me and you. We haven't.
Okay, the two C's of the group, we got it.
You're real C's.
Stop it.
All right, guys, let's dive into the opening segment now. Let's go into the icebreaker question, which is, let me go back into my notes right now because I'm so prepared right now. All right, it's a Stranger Things related question. In the Upside Down, your favorite team is, and then fill in the blank. So it can be any team and also not just the AFC West. So Corey, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so I was putting some thought into this one, and I decided in the Upside Down in a stranger world, I am actually a Chiefs fan. It's weird. So weird to say.
That's a good one. Caleb, what about you?
Oh, man. I've thought about this a lot. I'd probably go with the Lions. Similar team, but different side of the NFL.
Yeah. Never
won Ned Flanders' response.
Yeah.
Austin, what about you?
I don't think it's what I'd want, but I think it's how it would work out. I actually think I'd be a Raiders fan.
That's why it's
okay.
It's the Upside Down, man.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like, I'm kind of an asshole. They're kind of assholes. They win a little bit, but they don't win a lot. And that's how most of my teams are. So I think I'd really just be a Raiders fan in an Upside Down world.
Yeah, I can see it. In the offseason, you were one because you were praising us about Pete Carroll. And then not so much in the regular season.
Carroll fan than Raiders fan, okay? Mm-hmm. And that backfired.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Max Crosby fan. And Matt, or You already answered, right?
No,
I
Okay,
did
sorry,
not.
guys. I'm out of it this morning. So mine would be. Sorry, Matt.
I'm so confused.
Me too. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry, buddy.
It's so early in the morning.
I'd probably be, and I can't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'd probably be a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Mom's a Patriots fan, so I think that has a lot to do with it.
Originally, I am from Massachusetts, so I mean,
Yeah, as you're repping the Red Sox jersey this morning. So, All right. So sorry to interrupt you, Matt. So I'll go ahead and give mine finally. God, man, I got to work out the rust on
that's
this.
fine. Mine would be. Oh.
Caleb, do you need to go again? No. I think mine
Now
would
that
be.
you
I'd
mention it, I'm just
Caleb got him.
Got him. I think if it was in the upside down, I probably would be a Niners fan in the upside down, just because a lot of my family on my mom's side is either Niners or Broncos, but my cousins I was closest to predominantly were Niner fans. So, and also here in California, you're either a Niners or an old school Raiders. You have some Rams fans back down in LA when they were originally there, but for the most part, it's either Niners or Raiders. I probably would have been the Niners in the upside down. So I think that would have been the one.
Beautiful.
That was fun, guys.
yeah.
All right, let's dive into it. God, I got to lock in, guys. All right, so our first AFC West matchup is a pretty big one. This is not a doo-doo game like the Raiders one that we'll talk about after this one, but it is the Chargers versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs' playoff hopes are on the line, and also for the Chargers, this is your guys' opportunity to stay in the hunt to potentially take the AFC West as you guys had earlier in the season, and it unfortunately fell, and now first place Broncos have a pretty tight lead, so the Chargers need this one. So, Austin, what are your X factors for your Chiefs and your keys to victory?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't even know anymore. I feel like we've hit rock bottom. I think my brother the other day said that closer to the Raiders than we are like the Chargers and Broncos, and it kind of just hurt my feelings because it's reality. I guess at that point, just score points, play defense, don't beat yourselves. Like, I don't know anymore, right? Like, we're now on week 3 of must win for the Chiefs of not winning. At this point, just go play football, right? Don't overthink it. Just go play your game. Don't help the Chargers beat you. Like, no stupid penalties, no stupid coaching decisions. Go out, play clean football, be smart, and just hope for the best in the end. Because I think us and the Chargers are pretty similar. We're beat up. So I think it's going to be who can make the fewest mistakes in this one. Truth be told, I think it's a pretty balanced matchup. And so far through this season, Chiefs have done really good at beating themselves. Chargers have been relatively decent at capitalizing in those moments, you know, like the interception at like the goal line to seal a victory. Like, they've made some big plays when it mattered the most. So I just think if these teams can play smart, whoever makes the fewest mistakes, I think good chance of winning this game.
Yep. Do you have an X factor for the game?
Man, honestly, I'm going to go Essa Pools, mostly because I'm stoked. I've mentioned him a couple times before he was even thought of, but he came in and did big time against the Texans. I mean, it's probably going to go overlooked just because that game was, how'd you say it? It was doo-doo. That was a doo-doo game just overall, but Essa Pools played well. Defensively, I'm going to need to see Chris Jones and George Karlaftis play like they did last week. For most of that game, they did dominate, kind of. They were just on the field a little too much, trying to carry the offense a little too far. So offense, I'm going to go Essa Pools just because I want to see him. Chargers have pretty good edge rushers. Not even for playoff sake. Essa Pools is playing for a future, right? Like, we're going to have a tackle spot coming open. Outside of Josh Simmons, nothing's locked up. So I think it'll be just obviously game dependent and get some tape out there. So good opportunity for him.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, Caleb, your Chargers are riding a 2-game win streak. They are 3-2 on the road and 4-0 in the division. So, what are your keys to victory, and who are your X factors for your Chargers to win?
Yeah, so my X factors this week, I'll start off on the offense. It's Marion Hampton. The reason I say that, we've got to get the run going early. We got to relieve that pressure for Justin Herbert. And the Chiefs have a really good run defense. So I think that's super important this week. Kamani Vidal's been great, but I think if we can get the two-headed monster, hopefully two-headed monster going, I think we'll be hard to stop, especially going into a couple tough games here in a row. Defensively, my X factor is Derwin James. The reason he's my X factor is, statistically speaking, Travis Kelce has always had our number. I mean, he just has. And I think if we can shut him down early, I think that's how we can really stretch this game out. Because I think whenever he gets going, that's how the team reacts, right? So if he has a really, really good game, I think everyone else responds to that. As far as Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, I think they feed off of that energy. So Derwin James is my X factor because he typically has that matchup with him. So yes, he's my X factor defensively. And then my keys to victory, like I said a minute ago, we got to get the run game going early in the game. We can't have Justin Herbert being our leading rusher moving forward. Me and Corey had some good conversations this week with some guys on TikTok about this. He can run the ball, but he is injured. He does not need to be running the ball as much as he is, and taking those unnecessary hits. Like, we just don't need that to happen. And I think in this game especially, I think this is a big factor in the game. And then offensively, it kind of – or defensively, my keys to victory is very similar. We've got to stop Travis Kelce. Like I said, we feed off his energy, or the Chiefs feed off of his energy, and that kind of thing. So, yeah, overall, we have to play a clean game too, keep Justin healthy, and really be able to run the football. I want to see us improve in the run game this week, the second week under or with Amari and Hampton back.
Yeah, I think one deep stat I'm going to throw out there. The one kind of weakness of the Chargers defense is the deep ball. They do give up some deep shots. And with Hollywood Brown out this week, I think you're going to see a few more Tyquan Thornton shots or snaps. So I think if Tyquan can get a few of those deep shots and get connected with Patty, that would obviously help out a struggling offense right now. So I think there's a bunch of little minor details and matchups in this game that are really going to swing it. I think the ones Caleb said were spot on. Now that you mention it, like we kind of have went as Travis is gone.
Yep.
So if you're able to take him out, the last thing Chiefs will have is maybe a deep shot here or there, because Chargers defense is good. Like, I don't like saying it, but they are. So it should be a good game-ish.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very, pivotal point for either team in the AFC West. I think Chargers, if you guys want to keep up with the Broncos to even come close to winning the division, you guys need this game. I think if the Chiefs lose, and I think if one of the AFC wildcard teams wins, I think the Chiefs are officially eliminated, if I saw a graphic correctly. So it's a lot riding on this for the Chiefs in general. I am curious, though. So Matt and Corey, I'm curious, do you guys think that this season's going to take a hit on Patrick Mahomes' legacy, or is this just a down year for the Chiefs in general?
Go ahead, Matt.
I think it's just a down year. I mean, to be honest, Pat Mahomes could retire today and he would have nothing left to prove. I mean, he's got 3 Super Bowl rings to his belt, 2, 3 MVPs. So, I mean, he would have nothing left to prove. So, I mean, it's not going to hit his legacy at all. He's definitely a future Hall of Famer. What he's done with the Chiefs organization and Andy Reid, I mean, he could retire today and lose little to no sleep at all, knowing he did have an impact on the game. He did have an impact, and not just the division, but the league in general. I mean, he's still at the end. I mean, we all hate him because he's in our division, but any one of us, if he was up for free agency and the Chiefs did not re-sign him, we'd all be raising our hands. Give me Pat Mahomes. So
Raiders would put both hands up. Yeah. Corey, what are your thoughts?
Not to his legacy, but I think it will show the Chiefs that they need to do a little more in the offseason, and they need to put a little more effort into how they treat the offseason. A lot of Band-Aid work right now and not actual long term. And I get it; they've done some contracts here and there for some guys, but no. Maybe if he has another similar season next season, then we can, maybe start talking about it.
All right. Let's move on to the next AFC or game here. Let's go to the Raiders and the Eagles. This is a game I'm not really interested in talking about too much just because Kenny Pickett is starting, which is great, I guess. Geno Smith, he went out of the Chargers game with an injury to his back and his shoulder, reportedly. It's also been reported to, I don't know how many sports media outlets that Geno Smith wants out of Las Vegas, which I'm not surprised.
Yes,
I want him out too. I think we would eat about $18.5 million of his contract of the guaranteed money. But obviously, if we find a quarterback needy team, which we are one, but if we flip him to another team, maybe they'll take on a part of his deal. So we'll see. I guess quickly on this matchup, this is a get back on track for the Eagles. As you guys can see on the graphic, the offense is dead last, damn near dead last. Defense is 16th, I guess. It's in the middle of the pack. It's okay. Pass rush has been getting home a little bit more often the last couple of games, but we're on the field too much. I mean, we saw that in the Chargers game. We saw that in the previous game that the Raiders had. So it's kind of the same stuff. It's honestly, at this point, I'm kind of just hoping we get a high draft pick and we do well with these picks. I'm already envisioning a complete reset of the franchise. I'm not at this point. Pete Carroll's not returning, because if Geno isn't returning, neither is Pete Carroll. And I think maybe that's the best thing that needs to happen, is we just need a reset, because there is no fight in this Raiders team with Pete Carroll as the head coach, unfortunately. And I'm tired of seeing this. And anyways, this is a get back on track for the Eagles. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is at home in Philadelphia. So this is right up the alley for the Eagles to get back on track. I think they blew a lead to the Chargers last week, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that game that they played against, was the Chargers?
Yeah, Monday night game.
Yeah. Monday night game. That's right, because I did a live stream on that. Or Austin, you did. Sorry. My days are upside down, if you guys haven't noticed.
No, you're good.
Were you going to say something, Austin?
No, I just said you were okay.
Yeah,
it was all right. I will say, though, if this is a game, again, I'm not saying I think there's a chance. If the Raiders win this, we may need to do a wellness check for the entire city of Philadelphia if it's not burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's all I really want to throw in on that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a Kenny Pickett revenge game. So we'll see. I guess what I'm seeing here is, like, I think Kenny Pickett is going to be a better alternative at quarterback against Philadelphia if I had to pick a quarterback, because at least Kenny Pickett is mobile. He showed that in garbage time in the last game. So we'll see how the offense looks with, Greg Olsen calling plays, and, maybe we can get some more design runs. Maybe we get our rookie tackles in to start blocking a little bit better, because I think it was Rodgers who was in. He actually did pretty good. So hopefully we can get him starting. And I don't know why we didn't use him for more reps during the season, but I think that's one of the things that's upsetting about Pete Carroll is we had a lot of young players. It feels like they're not developing throughout the season because they were underutilized. So if I had to give an X factor, it's got to be Ashton Genty in that run game. If we can get the run game going, then maybe it'll open up for play action and for Brock Bowers to have a feast on this Eagles defense, which is banged up. I think it's really the only one I can think of. And keys to victory, we just got to protect the football and keep them out of the end zone. I mean, pretty easy football, but I don't have high hopes for this game, unfortunately. So
there's some legends who would say the same thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. All right, man, Matt.
Cody and I just sound defeated tonight or this morning, like
Loserville.
Yeah. I mean, this is a get back on track for the Eagles. This isn't a Raiders are going to steal one. This is Eagles need to get right before the playoffs. So we got the Raiders scheduled. So Matt, what are your X factors and your keys to victory for the Eagles on this side?
I mean, every time I've said this before, and I feel like I'm always wrong. Like, oh, look at the numbers. Like, this is a pretty evenly matched game, but I mean, you got to score points. I mean, look at that, 15 points a game. That's 5 field goals a game. Like, you got to find ways. You got to find ways. You got to find ways to get in the end zone. I mean, look, like Philly's defense is really not that prolific. I mean, they're giving up good chunks of yards on the ground. So if you can get Ashton Jeanty going, I think it is going to be a long day for this Eagles defense. So yeah, my X is going to be the Raiders running offense. Like, can you finally get Ashton Jeanty like going and draft him so he can be like what you guys expected him to be? Or is it just going to be another 72 yards of total rushing a game? Like, I mean, yeah, at this point, I think the defense probably could keep up with this offense because they are struggling. And I mean, again, you have under 200 yards and you have two of the best receivers in the league and you can barely get over 200 yards. So I think this defense could, actually get home. I mean, they're third in the league in tackles for loss. Max Crosby had a career high yesterday. He had 24 total tackles for a loss for the season. So, I mean, you can get home. It's just, can you actually like stay off the field long enough? So,
yeah, pretty short, sweet, and to the point. I don't have anything to add to it, so we'll see. We're just, as a Raiders fan at this point, let's just go for the number one pick at this point. So, all right, let's move on to the game of the week. Let's move on to Broncos versus the Packers. This has huge implications in the NFL. Of course, the Broncos are fighting for the number one seed in the AFC to get the first round bye. Packers are trying to stay ahead in the NFC, respectively, in their conference. So huge head-to-head matchup right now. If anything, this is ironically a rematch of Super Bowl back in '97. Ironically enough, that was when the Broncos won one of their first Super Bowls. But this is two young teams that are in Super Bowl contention. So, Matt, who are your X factors and your keys to victory for the Broncos?
For me, it's going to be Denver's defense. I mean, again, you look at that stat line right there. There is nothing separating these two teams right now. Like, they are very, very evenly matched on both sides of the ball. So, for me, I think it's going to be a big defensive battle, and the winner is going to be whoever can win that turnover battle. So, I want to say Denver's defense as a whole, like, getting to Jordan Love. He's only been sacked 16 times this year. That offensive line in Green Bay is phenomenal. Like the way they're protecting Jordan Love. Now, however, Jordan Love may not be getting sacked a lot, but when he does get sacked, he's losing about 6 yards a sack. So he's taking too many 5-step dropbacks. So if Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, I think Austin, you and I, we were talking on live the other night and said this might be a big Zach Allen day. So Zach Allen's going to be my X factor there. Can Zach Allen hit home, and can this Denver Broncos defense create turnovers, which is something they've really been struggling to do all season is getting turnovers. They don't really have many, which is, odd to think because they're leading the league in sacks. So they're getting the pressures there, but why aren't they getting the turnovers? So for me, keys to victory is getting to Jordan Love and winning that turnover battle. And this, again, like Austin said, this is going to be a big Zach Allen game.
Corey, your X factors and your keys to victory for the Broncos.
Yeah, so I hear your Zach Allen, and then I want to pull this from you. So Micah Parsons, 12.5 sacks. Nick Bonito, 12.5 sacks. Both have 12 tackles for losses. These are the guys that you have to pay attention to. The way that the Packers use Micah Parsons is they're moving him all over the field. He's not just lining up as the edge guy. They put him in the middle. They'll even have him playing back as a Mike. So it's very important to always cue and see where number one is on the field. So that's on Bo, and that's on the offensive line to recognize that pre-read. So that's going to be my X factor is containing Micah Parsons. And then defensively, it's obviously going to be Nick Bonito because, again, I get the whole Toyota-thon, Jordan Love nonsense. But the guy's not a good quarterback. He will make mistakes. He's just like Dak Prescott in the sense of if you put pressure on him, he will make mistakes. You have to live up to you being an aggressive defense. Vance Joseph has to unleash the guys, put the pressure on Jordan Love. He will win you the game himself by throwing the ball into Pastor Tan and Riley Moss and all those guys. The almost interceptions, we're getting them this week. We're going to get those interceptions this week. I got Denver's we're going to win this game easily.
It's definitely going to be a very interesting game. It might be one of those very low scoring defensive matchups where the offenses just can't really get anything moving. And we're going to see if it comes down to maybe a 6-3 score. So very, very interesting in the AFC and in the NFC. A lot going on right now. So what we're going to do, guys, is right before League Recon, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors. Unfortunately, I did not update this with rival codes, but please don't forget, visit rivalcodes.com, use rival10 to get 10% off your purchase today. So we'll be right back after these sponsors. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, welcome back to West War Room Rivals, where rivals collide. Again, shout out to JBW Solutions, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Field Ops Kansas, and Rival Codes. All right, guys, let's move on to League Recon for this week. I have here in the notes the NFC West teams are on a heater right now. So AFC West we thought was probably going to be the most dominant division in all of football. But, gentlemen, we were wrong. It's actually in the NFC right now, where we have the LA Rams right now sitting at the top of the division at 10-3, followed by the Seahawks at also 10-3, and then the Niners right behind them in third place at 9-4. All three teams are projected to be in the playoffs in some form or fashion, whether that is wild card or divisional winner, if everything stands today. So I guess the question is who wins this division? Caleb, I'll let you kick this off.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little different. I think the Seahawks end up winning the division. I think they have the defense. I'm a big fan of their coach, and for some reason I can't think of his name at the moment. McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
I couldn't think of his name off the top of my head, but, man, I'm a big fan of the Seahawks and what they're doing, how they're playing right now. I think they're playing really, really well. But, yeah, I think the Seahawks can pull this one out. It's going to be tough. I think they still play one more time, if I'm not mistaken. Rams Seahawks, I might be wrong on that, but
It's Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think the Seahawks might be able to pull this one out and get the Rams on a short week.
Mm-hmm. Corey, what are your thoughts on that division?
Yeah, it's still the Rams. I just think overall, I think coaching, I'd still take Sean McVay over McDonald. I'd get what the Seahawks defense is doing. I will say that that Thursday night game's on the road in Seattle, prime time in Seattle. That could be a loud one for the Rams. I think if you look at it this weekend, obviously the Seahawks have the Colts, so they'll get that win. And then I don't remember who the Rams are playing. So that Thursday night game is actually going to come down to, maybe a team that can get that little bit of a lead. So I'm still leaning with the Rams.
The Rams this week are at home against Detroit. So that's today.
Yeah, that'd be a good game too.
Hell of an NFC matchup for sure. Austin, who do you think takes this NFC West division?
My heart is telling me the Seahawks as well, because I've been a big McDonald fan even before he became a head coach, and I like the hire. But until Sam Darnold can win a big, meaningful game for me, I'm still going to have to go Matt Stafford. Darnold torched it last year, and then we saw what he looked like when the game mattered in the playoffs. He was seeing ghost and looked like old Sammy D. So I do like everything about the Seahawks. They have a two-headed backfield. I like their weapons. You know, Shaheed as another weapon and in the return game. I think they're a very balanced, full team. I just still trust a lesser roster with Matt Stafford than I do one with Sam Darnold. So until proven otherwise, I'm going Rams and Matt Stafford.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams too. Just kind of like comparing their remaining opponents. So the Rams, obviously, they have the Lions today. They go on the road to Seattle on Thursday. Then they go on the road to Atlanta and take on the Falcons, and then they have the Cardinals. So I mean, like, that's a pretty easy schedule. Is where the Seahawks, I think they're gonna take the win over the Colts with Phyllis Rivers coming back to town. They have the Colts today, the Rams next week or on Thursday. Then they have the Panthers, and then they close out against the Niners. So they have a tougher schedule. Not that that's not a winnable schedule, but these are, the Panthers are trying to get into, maintain their playoff position. The Niners are trying to get their spot in there. So they have the tougher schedule. Not that they couldn't win. I think the Rams are just going to take this one based off of their schedule.
Yeah, looking at this, and I'm going to give just a special shout out to Drew, my former co-host on Drew Code. He used to have this formula when he had to decide against two like major teams. He'd look at the quarterback, he'd look at the head coach, and he'd look at the defense. And right now, just two out of those three, I would go with the Rams. I trust Sean McVay more than Mike McDonald, although he's a up-and-coming head coach, ironically enough, in the same vein as Sean McVay. Although Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning head coach, and he's already led the Rams prior to Matthew Stafford there once before as well. Matthew Stafford, I just trust him. This season, I feel like we're seeing the best Stafford we've seen. And ironically, coming into this season, he was like, couldn't even throw his elbow, like had this nerve issue. He had this back issue, which kept him out of training camp for majority of the offseason. And then he just starts the regular season and he's just lighting it on fire. And defensively, I think this is where it's like, it's almost a tie in a sense. Like the Rams have a really tenacious pass rush, but so does the Seahawks. And the Seahawks have a secondary that is able to kind of like keep up with you a little bit. I don't want to say it's Legion of Boom-esque, but they have a really good secondary that is able to kind of keep your receiving core or your pass game kind of minimal. So, but I would still trust the Rams at the end of the day. Like, in my opinion, Sean McVay, how he gets the Rams going in playoff time. And if I had to pick them for the division, I'm siding with the Rams. I will say, though, if these records hold true and these three teams get in, I think maybe the dark horse might be a Niners deep run, just because also their experience. And if you get hot at the right time, Christian McCaffrey has been kind of like an LTS season where it's like 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving. I feel like that could also sway in some like late game situations. But ultimately in this division, I think the Rams are still going to hold tight, even though Seahawks are right on the heels of them. So that'd be what I would say for this division. All right. Are we ready to move on to the next league recon question?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So old man Philip Rivers of 44 years old was signed to the practice squad to the Indianapolis Colts on Monday. He was activated on, I think it was Friday night or Saturday morning, where he was elevated into the active roster of the Indianapolis Colts. And he's now going to start this morning against the aforementioned Seattle Seahawks. Caleb, as the Chargers fan, and of course, during your Chargers fandom, you saw Philip Rivers. I'm wanting your honest take and opinion of what you expect from Philip Rivers and if this is a great idea in general.
Yeah, I actually like it better than most people probably think. Maybe not you all, but the reason I say that, I think quarterback play in general in the NFL has went down as far as the mental side of it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that he will have for a very long time. That was my favorite thing about him, was how he could like determine things before the play even when they were lining up. Like, I mean, he could call out what they were doing, that kind of thing. I'm not saying he's going to beat the Seahawks by any means. I do think they lose this game, but I think he will be a better I won't say better than Riley Leonard, because I don't think he's going to be mobile.
Right.
But I think he will be the better option than their other guy. I don't even remember who it is. And I think the reason I say that is literally because of the mental side of it. I think he's just going to game manage, if I'm being honest with you. It's going to be a lot of run plays. which is what they probably should be doing anyways. But yeah, I like it. I'm excited. I'm hopeful for him because people have been so negative on this that it makes me want to be the opposite even more, I guess.
Okay, Caleb, hold on a second. He's 44 years old. He hasn't played since 2020, and he's going up against one of the top NFL defenses in the NFL. We've agreed to that.
Yes.
And you're cool with that.
Yes. I am.
Phillip Rivers is going to get himself killed today. He's got to break a hip, sir.
He might surprise y'all. You never know.
Grandpa Rivers is going to be lucky to walk out of this game on his own 2 feet. Austin, make sense of this for me. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am excited. Like, I'm very much going to tune in and see how this goes. Caleb is right. I think Phillip Rivers is mentally there. But at some point, your body has to also be there.
Yeah.
I'm actually just concerned for his safety. Like, we're talking about people's safety, and we're going to let a 44-year-old who hasn't played in half a decade, couple days of practice, like, I don't know. It's wild to me. I hope he does do well. He's too competitive to not, like, give them a little bit of fire. But at the end of the day, I truly am just concerned about his safety. Like, honestly, like, he hasn't played in 5 years, so he hasn't really taken any kind of a hit in 5 years. Yeah, I don't know. They've already gotten a few quarterbacks hurt, and now we're just like, you know what, old man Phillip, it's your turn. So I do think they'll have the passes to a minimum. I think it'll be a lot of quick passes because they have to know that he's not someone who you want to just stand back there as a statue, right? Like, if they call a deep shot, they're going to be like, Phillip, it's a deep shot. You take your drop and you throw it.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what happens. Because I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea. I don't think it should be scrutinized, honestly. But on the flip side of that, I am super stoked. Like, there's so many problems with what we're seeing right now, but I am still excited about it.
Okay. Corey, your thoughts?
It's the most desperate move of desperate moves. It screams at a coach is like, yeah, we hear Steichen and Rivers are best friends. So it's one of those where it's like, hey, man, what the hell? I'm out of here at the end of the season anyways. Or maybe they do catch fire, which I don't see that happening. So they got the Seahawks this week. Then they go 49ers next week. Then the Jaguars. And then they end the season with the Texans. Are you shitting me? Are you like what are we doing here, man? Like, there's quarterbacks that are out there that have played recently that are on practice squads for a reason. Make that call. Yeah, it'll be fun to see, but at the end of the day, like, no one's gonna. I call Shane Steichen a joke at the beginning of the season, and this doesn't really help his case towards me at all. And Colts fans can come at me all they want, but your coach is a dumbass.
Is no one actually concerned truly for his safety, though? Like,
I am. I think that's why I'm surprised. Like, I get it. Like, he is a great quarterback when he played, but he hasn't played in 5 seasons. We can all agree these NFL defenses, albeit by the rules that are set in the NFL, are still tenacious defenses. It's not like that they're playing touch football still. It's still tackle. We've seen like Tua hit his head on the turf and he knocks himself out. We've seen literally quarterbacks, breaking their legs or arms or whatnot. It's happening. A lot of it is these pressure defenses when your offensive line breaks down. And I'm not saying that Phillip Rivers isn't an all-time great quarterback, that he can't still throw the ball, but like, an average quarterback in the NFL is like mid-20s, and he's almost double that age right now. And I just worry about, like, you mean to tell me out of all the people you could have surveyed on practice squad, free agency, we landed on a 44-year-old quarterback who has been out of the league for 5 seasons to hopefully make the playoffs and do what exactly? Are we assuming that he's going to help us win the Super Bowl, or are we just hoping that we don't lose our wild card berth, essentially? Because that's all they're playing for right now is a wild card berth. They're going to lose the division. We can agree it's either going to be to the Jaguars or to the Texans. I think that's where I'm shocked by this of like, sure, if he's just going to hand off the football and it's going to be check down passes, why not sign a practice squad guy to do the exact same thing? Why do we have to get a 44-year-old quarterback out of retirement to do it? Oh, are we out thinking ourselves? Is that the thing? The same organization that also hired Jeff Saturday to be their head coach for a season?
Hey, who'd he beat?
He beat the Raiders. I'm going to be the first one to say that. But still, though, the same franchise that made that decision.
That might be the Raiders' next head coach.
Maybe. It would probably be better than Pete Carroll, unfortunately. Matt, what are your thoughts on this? Before? Oh, go ahead, Austin.
No, yeah, I just want to say, though, as concerned as we are, I don't think any of us would actually be shocked if Phillip came out and threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yes, I would be surprised if he did that.
I would be too. Only because, like, if he sat on his he didn't figuratively sit on his couch, but he literally hasn't been on an NFL roster in 5 years, comes into the NFL to throw 250 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I think I texted you guys this. Like, if I would be that NFL defense, I'd be embarrassed.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if there's any 44-year-old that I would expect to do that after 5 years, Phillip Rivers would make a short list. Outside of Tom Brady, because he played till he was like 60, so he didn't count. But like, if you're calling, like, Phillip Rivers would be one, just his competitive nature. And like we've said, Colts do have weapons. You just have to get the ball in their hands. So I'm not saying he's going to chuck it 90 yards down the field, but I can see Tyler Warren or Alec Pierce helping pad those stats a little bit, and I wouldn't be that surprised. I don't see it happening, but he's on that list for me.
Matt, give your thoughts since you haven't got to yet.
Yeah, so first off, I want to know, does the nursing home know about this? Like, somebody sign him out? Like, do they know that he's suited up in a Colts uniform right now? And then, like, Corey, you kind of already said it, like, this quarterbacks on a practice squad right now. You reached out to one. They reached out to Sam Eilinger. He said no. And what did you do to say? Oh, well, we're doomed. Wait, I know a guy. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? And again, nobody's questioning Phillip's competitive nature. Like, he's always been known to be competitive, and he loves to, like, talk to the defense and get in their head and whatnot. And nobody's questioning that. But, like, is he in football shape? He had 1 week of practice. We're already the season. Is he in football shape? Can he take a hit? Does he still have that arm strength? Like, again, I don't think he's going to be heaving it down the field, like, in multiple plays, but, like, is he still able to, like, play, like, physically? Can he physically play right now? He hasn't been on a roster in 5 years. What is going on here? If that's the case, call me up. I'll come play. I'll take a couple of sacks. We're not going to go to the playoffs. You just want someone to heave the ball down the field. I got you, fam. But come on now. Like, there was other options available. Zach Wilson is chilling with the Dolphins right now, hasn't taken a snap. Like, he would be a better choice. Like, make a trade to them. Take a third rounder. We'll take Zach for the year. Like, do something. Do something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of questionable decisions from the Colts, from how they're clock management, late game decisions. Add this to the list, and I think we all kind of agreed that Shane Steichen at least is out of there. I'm forgetting who the GM's name is. Chris Ballard, I think, is his name. Yeah. I think, it's questionable if he's going to go. I'd imagine he would. He's lasted a couple of different coaching cycles, so maybe just because he's pretty good about finding decent talent. But this decision on the Colts, albeit, like, as a football fan, I'm very curious to see, like, I'm intrigued. I'm bought in. Like, the reality show has sucked me back into it. But still, though, like, Phillip Rivers I hope that he walks away okay and all that good stuff, because I'd hate for his legacy to be tarnished off of, 4 games that might not even mean anything in the grand scheme of things. I think that's where I'm at with it. So
I don't think it hurts his legacy. I just think he becomes a laughingstock and a joke. As far as, like, he's just kind of the joke of the season. Like, yeah, look at Grandpa Phillip out there. I mean, right. I don't think it hurts his legacy outside that his Hall of Fame clock does start over.
Yeah, that does suck. So then he wouldn't be eligible until 2030, I think, right? Or 2031?
30 or 31.
Yeah, it's some 6-year cycle that retired players have to wait, right?
Yeah, the 5-year.
Jeez, to think that we're 5 years removed and didn't even realize it. Jeez. And then he just put out a retirement video earlier this offseason. That's kind of funny that It's a good. This whole thing is just interesting.
And the Chargers just retired his jersey.
They did, yeah.
All right, let's move on to trouble in Washington, you guys. So, as you guys know, Jane Daniels re-injured his elbow this last Sunday. Should Dan Quinn be on the hot seat for how he handled Daniels? Corey, I'm going to ask you this first. So, what do you think?
So I saw something on X the other day, and I didn't research or do too much into it, so I won't get as in depth with it. As far as I saw, it said that this came down from ownership, that they need to shut Daniels down for the season, which means if ownership's taking over those calls over the coach, then that spells very bad news for your head coach. And this is a new ownership group. It's their first coach out of this whole thing. So I think we on this show were very vocal about how they handled Jaden, and we had Lake Lewis on, and I get what Lake said, that he looked good in practice and he does this, but he's not getting hit in practice. He's only doing, air reps. And I thought it was a very immature move to bring him back. I don't necessarily know if it should be fireable, but we got to have a conversation with how our head coach is going to handle our franchise quarterback.
Yeah, Caleb, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Corey, really. I don't think this is like a fireable offense necessarily. I do think they definitely need to talk with him and probably talk with the trainers. Like, I don't know why they cleared him, and much less if they did clear him. Like, at this point, you're out of the playoffs. Like, I know you're not eliminated yet, but essentially you're eliminated. You won 3 or 4 games now. So, yeah, I don't think he gets fired necessarily, but I do think there should definitely be some come to Jesus moments.
Mm-hmm. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember if we talked about it on a previous show or during one of our lives on TikTok, but yeah, I don't think it's a fireable offense. And even Lake Lewis had come on and said, like, yeah, he looks good in practice, but I don't think he should be out there at all. And it's still the same, it's still the same thing. He should have never been out there. And it's the same, with, Daniel Jones, like with his fracture. Like, why are we putting our players, like, yes, it's a contact sport. Injuries are bound to happen. But, like, if they can be avoided, why are we putting them in a position where, like, it could not just be a season ending, but a career ending, Yep. Why are we putting them in that position where they can cause some serious damage going further on down the line? Yep. There was no reason for it. It's not a fireable offense, but it's like you're setting this guy up for failure. And he's, right now, he's the future of Washington. You're setting him up for failure when you put him in that position. I get he wants to compete, but at the end of the day, you're the coach. What you say goes. That's the law right there. Hey, I know you want to play. I love the fiery spirit, but I need you later on down the road. We're not getting in the play. We're out of the playoffs. Let's live to fight another day. We'll bring you back next week, but let's live to fight another day. So this is something that should have never happened.
Yeah. Austin?
Yeah, I don't think it is fireable. I think if Dan Quinn does get fired, I think they were already scratching that itch. And now they just have like a legitimate reason to kind of just fully go through with it. Who knows what was, going on behind closed doors and other issues. But I think if he gets fired over this, there was already something brewing, and this kind of just made it overflow. But at the very least, I think, everyone's touched on it, that, it shouldn't be fireable, but there's going to be conversations to be had on how to handle things like that moving forward. But if he does get fired, because again, anything can happen, they were already flirting with the idea, and now they just kind of have a reason. So it is also the same franchise that ran RG3 into the dirt. So, there could be a little bit of like PTSD from that, and overreactions one way or the other. So it's a very touchy situation, I do believe, just internally for sure. And I am curious to see what comes of it, but I don't think he should be fired. He is a good coach, just mishandled very poorly this situation.
I think hopefully with new ownership, it's a lot different with RG3. Maybe they know what happened in that situation and they don't want that to happen again, because you know how hard it is to find a franchise quarterback. So
right.
you don't want to hit the reset button a year after going to an NFC Championship game, getting your quarterback hurt, and then so again, I'll get into more of this when we get to our next topic, but Cody, go ahead and give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I think to say that he's on the hot seat, I think is accurate. I think, and again, with new ownership, they didn't hire Dan Quinn. I think that was a Dan Snyder hire, which, by the way, still actually Dan Quinn is a respectable coach. He did lead the Atlanta Falcons. I think it was 2017 to the Super Bowl. Obviously, that was the infamous 23-3 Super Bowl win for the Patriots. But for the most part, Dan Quinn's a respectable coach. And I think head coaches sometimes, and maybe players too, they're their own worst enemy. And Lake Lewis brought it up to where, second-year quarterback, he wants as many reps as possible, which is true. But in order to have a 10-year-long career, you've got to make sure that you are 100%, good and set. Not saying that him coming back is irrelevant, but in the grand scheme of things, you're not fighting for the division. You're not fighting for a playoff spot. So really, there's no sense of urgency to keep you out just one game, because he was almost questionable leading up, I think, to the Saturday prior to the Bronco game. And the Broncos had a tenacious defense. I think they sacked Mariota like 5 or 6 times, if I'm not mistaken. So imagine if that was Jaden Daniels, who was behind center, whose elbow was freshly still recovering from how dislocated it got in the previous week. So I think, some of these young NFL quarterbacks are their own worst enemy. Like I've seen Joe Burrow, he just got back from a crazy turf toe injury, and he came back a little bit sooner than expected. I've seen Josh Allen. I would say that Josh Allen has sustained multiple concussions, but hasn't reported it, because every time he hits his head, he seems to be okay and go back on the field, which is pretty impressive, even though I don't know how you did that. But you can just see all these young quarterbacks are kind of need to be settled in about, hey, listen, bigger picture, this game is important, but your career and the longevity of the health of the franchise is more important to us. I think that also needs to be brought into perspective too when it comes to this. So while I do respect Jaden Daniels' want and desire to play and help these guys win and this football team win, in the grand scheme of things, what's maybe one more extra week, 2 more extra weeks of recovery, so that way there's no potential of re-injuring. And the whole comparison to RG3 is a little unfair. Different ownership, different time, different regime. There's so much more knowledge now about player safety and stuff. And it's just the fact of you don't have to submit to the player just because they're adamant. You control the situation, and you just have to, if they're upset with you, that's fine, because next season when they're fully geared and healthy and assuming that they can compete in that Eastern division, they're going to need Jaden Daniels 100% healthy. There's no reason to put his elbow at risk of now he's out for the following season because he came back too soon. So that's what I would say on that.
Yep.
All right. Are we ready for the last league recon question?
Yep.
All right. So Joe Burrow had some interesting questions following the loss to the Buffalo Bills last Sunday, where the Cincinnati Bengals lost a lead to the Bills. Bills basically charged back in the fourth quarter and ended up defeating the Bengals. I don't think they've officially been eliminated from the playoffs, but the Bills definitely squashed whatever playoff window the Bengals were hoping to have. Joe Burrow had some interesting remarks to say about whether or not he wanted to continue to play. So, Corey, I'm curious, is Joe Burrow the future quarterback for the Vikings?
I don't know necessarily the Vikings, but I do think it brings up an interesting thing. So this post on X has talked that Justin Jefferson was going to make a huge push for the Vikings front office to make a push. And then Fox kind of gave a mock trade, and it was J.J. McCarthy, Dallas Turner, Jordan Mason, and 2 first-round picks to the Bengals for Joe Burrow. This is going to set up an interesting offseason, and it's kind of what I talked about with our last question with Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Got to start showing your young quarterback. And again, I'm not taking – Joe Burrow kind of did this himself. They did this to themselves. Yeah. It's either get rid of Zach Taylor. I think that could be the ultimatum here. He's saying get rid of Zach Taylor or trade me. I think it's going to set up a very interesting off season, because now the Raiders could maybe get into the mix. The Jets could get into the mix. All these teams, because You can say what you want about the quarterbacks, and I know Mendoza won the Heisman tonight, but that dude's not going to be a good NFL quarterback. It cracks me up to hear Raider fans continuously say that's going to be their quarterback. I hope so.
I'm not sold on it either, so I want to pump the brakes on that declaration of a quarterback.
Yeah. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say that he will start the season as the Bengals quarterback next year, though, with the new head coach.
Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I guess then the appropriate question, and Matt, I'll kick it over to you to kind of start off this question. Does Joe Burrow stay with Cincinnati, or do you think he's going to be on a new team either the start of next season or in the future?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason. I can see a couple of teams kind of like, you know, if it's a rumor or not, and, you know, if they're really looking at it, I can see a few teams like the Vikings and, you know, maybe even the Raiders trying to, like, you know, sneak into that talk like, hey, are you really giving up Burrow? Like, what do you want for him? I can see that happening, but I don't know. I just feel like you know, are they actually going to make that push? Because it sounds like he's just done. Like he said, like, I'm not having fun anymore. So now is it like you're just not having fun with the Bengals, or you're just over football in general, which, I mean, we've seen before, you know, it's, you know, nothing new, but I mean, I feel like he's just going to stay with the Bengals, or he's just going to be done. Like, I feel like he's just kind of like mentally not in it anymore at this point. I mean, again, like you said, he did it to himself. He had multiple opportunities. Like, he probably could have left a long time ago. Same with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And now, you know, you're stuck with this trash team with the shit, you know, front office. And, you know, the only teams available that would want you are other shit teams like the Jets, the Raiders, you know, the Vikings are kind of in the mix right there too. So, like, your options are kind of like you're leaving one trash team to go to another trash. You can't even say it's a change of scenery. You're just in a different location. So, yeah, I think he's just going to stay where he's at, or he's just going to be done.
All right. Caleb, do you think Joe Burrow sticks around in Cincinnati, or do you think he's on a new team next season?
I think he does. And the reason I really, really think he is still on the Bengals next year is because if he gets traded, you might as well go ahead and trade Jamar and T, because they're going to demand a trade, in my opinion. I think Zach Taylor's got to be the one that gets the boot. Will they do that? I don't know. I know we talked about that in an earlier episode, but ultimately I think I kind of agree with Matt. I think he'll be there, or he'll just be done for a while. Like Jamar said, he doesn't, and I think it's more of Jamar doesn't want him to go. But he said in an interview recently, he was like, "I thought that was AI. Like, he seems fine in the locker room." So I think he'll still end up being with the Bengals, but they definitely need to make some changes.
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, if this was a well-ran organization, I would say it's 100% Joe Burrow is either going to be a Bengal or he's retiring. Like, I don't give a shit how unhappy you are. We're going to do what we can to make you happy. We're 0% chance a quarterback like you is going to get traded. With that being said, we know the Bengals aren't a well-ran organization, which I think that makes this situation very interesting. Just because any other team, they would do whatever it takes to make you happy, do what it takes to make sure you're there. So I think just in the end, Joe Burrow is either going to be a Bengal or he's going to pull an Andrew Luck and just retire early. Yeah. That's how it should go. Again, it's the Bengals. Who knows? We can wake up a week before the draft and they've traded Joe Burrow to like the Vikings for like a 7th round pick, because that's how trash of an organization the Bengals are. And they'd be like, what a value. So I don't know. He should remain a Bengal. If the Bengals are smart, the only way you're not playing quarterback for us is if you're retired. Right. Plain and simple. I don't care how unhappy you are. We're going to try to make you happy, or you're going to retire, but you're not getting traded. We're not just going to trade you away. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I think the best way to answer this is, first off, I thought Zach Taylor was going to be gone after the season regardless. I think this is the final year of his coaching extension that he got post Super Bowl loss to the LA Rams, I think back in 2021. So I think this is the final year of that contract. I don't think they're going to renew it. So I already figured Zach Taylor was going to be on the outs. I could see a world where if the aforementioned teams, the Raiders, Jets, Steelers, which there's no way that the Bengals are trading Joe Burrow to the Steelers, not in this lifetime.
Well,
But anyways,
well, it is the Bengals.
I know, but I got to think they're at least logically like there's no way they're trading him in division.
Well, they're saying that they traded Joe Flacco
To the Browns or to the Bengals.
It's like,
and then Ravens and it's like, I don't know.
I would like to think that Joe Burrow is a little bit more value to them than Joe Flacco, but I understand the point. I think that it'll be a frosty day in hell before Joe Burrow is traded to the Steelers, in my opinion. But I think what will ultimately happen is I don't see the Bengals trading Joe Burrow. I think it's more or less if Joe Burrow is going to probably retire early like Andrew Luck did. One, injuries, and two, this franchise, besides the head coach, is poorly managed. I mean, their rookie Shamar Stewart didn't even get his rookie contract signed until damn near the start of the regular season, all because of some verbiage that they tried to put in this rookie contract that he would be the first rookie that got it instituted in the franchise that hasn't been done before. So that was kind of strange to begin with. They kind of screwed over Trey Hendrickson majority of the season by not paying him when he deserved it. I know that I think it was on either Tuesday or Wednesday's episode. You guys kind of talked about this with, they were late on paying T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Had they paid them appropriately, they would have probably saved themselves upwards of $20 to $30 million in salary cap because they wouldn't have paid them at the peak. And so if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm looking at this evidence to say, like, this franchise isn't taking this seriously. They're nickel and diming us. And this is the second year in a row where Joe Burrow is having to ask to be metaphorically Superman to put this god-awful team on his back, find a way to get them in the playoffs. And it's really only T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow leading the way with no defensive support and good luck. And that's all he's getting out of it. And you can just see fractures in the locker room with Zach Taylor and how he's play calling, game managing. You can just see this team is frustrated with this. But I still don't know if Joe Burrow wants to stick around even after all those regime changes, because this team is still the same. Ironically enough, they're not going to change their stripes anytime soon, pun intended. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Joe Burrow just say, you know what, guys, I've had a fun career. It's over, because he doesn't want to rehab every season. He doesn't want to have all these weird injuries because of a piss poor offensive line or a bad player roster management. I think he would be done with the BS if that was the case. And Joe Burrow, I think, would have every right to do so. It would be unfortunate because I think he's a great talent in the NFL. Like, I think he's up there in the league. So for him to retire early, like similar Andrew Luck, would be bad for the NFL, but would also show how poorly ran the Bengals are, even though they have all these great pieces to be maybe the top team if they had leadership and coaching to push it. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Are we good on that topic?
Yeah.
All right. So we are debuting our brand new segment. Again, we are new sponsorship partners with Rival Codes. Again, use Rival10 to get 10% off your purchase by going to rivalcodes.com today to get your guys' Rival apparel. So this week's rivalry, this game of the week that we are doing, is of the Buffalo Bills and of the New England Patriots. So we are going to put up the graphic real quick. So this is the rival. Oh, that's not it. This is the rivalry of the week. Where'd it go? There it is. StreamYard. There it is. This is the rivalry of the week. We have the Bills and the Patriots fighting for the AFC North Division. So, Austin, I want you to kick us off. Who do you think takes home this game?
The Bills.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Bills.
On it, sir.
Okay. Well, I thought we were just picking a winner, so I was going to stick to the question, but I don't know. I love Drake May. They haven't really had a game like this yet with him at quarterback. They were playing with house money a little early. Now you got a little emotion, a little bit of a big time matchup going on here. You're going to feel it. So until Drake May proves that he can come through with this, I got to trust Josh Allen and them. They've been here before. They've played a lot of big games. And let's be honest, the Bills' offense has performed in these games more times than they haven't. They've struggled a little bit here and there. The difference is I'm not ready to say Drake May is going to make the plays that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have made during those times that sent the Bills packing. So For this week, I kind of like the Bills. I think they're going to have a better game plan than letting Stephon Diggs get like 150 receiving yards. I think. Fantasy team would love that though. But yeah, at the end of the day, like you said earlier, some of the positions you trust more. Right now, I just trust Josh Allen significantly more than Drake May in a matchup like this.
Okay. Austin or Corey, your thoughts on this rivalry game?
Yeah, it's gonna be the Bills, and it's because Josh Allen's gonna go daddy mode.
Ooh. Everything I just said summed up into daddy mode. Big fan of that.
Okay, very interesting. I'm gonna go with
father, man.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld for announcing that they are expecting their first. So shout out to Josh Allen, who's also from Fireball, which is in Fresno County. So shout out. Yeah, he's from Fireball, and that's like 45 minutes east of Fresno. So yeah, in the county. But all congratulations to that. But I think it's the Patriots in this game. They're at home in Gillette Stadium. I really like this defense of the Patriots, and as much as the Bills are kind of riding a hot streak right now, they've won their last 2 out of 3. The last kind of major defense that Josh Allen did play was against the Texans. And I'm not saying that the Texans or the Patriots are on the same level, but the Patriots have a very, very good defense. And there's been a lot of games where the Patriots offense has started off slow and that Patriots defense just kind of hung around, gave them some more opportunities. And then Drake May and that offense kind of settled in and then, was able to put points up and continue a lead. I think with this one, what's going to happen is the Bills are going to get into some turnovers and give the Patriots those extra opportunities. I don't know if Drake May is going to be Superman, so to speak, but I still don't trust this Bills defense, and I still don't trust this offense with the lack of weapons that they have. Coleman, is he really a legit number one? Shakur, is he really a go-to guy? Dalton Kincaid, if he can stay healthy, sure, he's a decent weapon. But other than that, you have James Cook and Josh Allen. And again, this is a really stout defense. So I just think that the Bills, unfortunately, are not going to win this one. And the Patriots, ironically enough, would have the season sweep in this division. So I'm going to go Patriots on this matchup. So Caleb, who do you have in this divisional matchup?
Yeah, I've got Buffalo, and the reason I say that, they have so much riding on the line, right? Sean McDermott potentially has his job on the line right here. They have a playoff spot on the line more so than New England does. Mm-hmm. And I think they really have to have this win. So that's why I think they pull this out. I think they need it more than New England does. Mm-hmm. And I think Josh Allen too. Corey took my thunder a little bit. I was going to say he's just found out that obviously that he's going to be a father. So I think he's probably riding on cloud 9 a little bit. Or he's probably known, but they just released that news, I guess. But yeah, I think the Bills can pull this one out.
Right.
Daddy mode.
Well, and then technically, to Caleb's point, Haley Steinfeld looked like she's pretty far along. So it's not like she just found out yesterday. They just announced it yesterday. And,
she's just been sucking it in for a good while.
Well, she's been out of the public eye since that Sinners movie.
Easy.
My only concern with what you said, Cody, and I'll let Matt go first before I say it, but I just want to let you know I have more to add once Matt's done. Okay, Matt, who do you have? And I'm certain that if you choose the wrong one, you're not welcome home. So choose right.
My mom lets me know every time we all go again. And she's like, Patriots, how dare, I'm grounded for life apparently. But, again, there's a lot riding on this for both teams. Again, the Bills want to maintain that playoff position and the Patriots are in a win and in, they'll clinch their playoff spot. So a lot is riding on it for both teams, but I don't know. I don't like you, Cody. I don't trust the Bills defense enough. Now, I'm not saying they won't get to Drake May. I'm not saying they won't force any turnovers. I think they'll probably get a couple turnovers over this game, but I don't know. My guts tell me the Pats, again, they want to get to the playoffs. They haven't been in quite some time, and seemingly so the Bills are in it every year. So I think what a way to get in than the sweep, with the division sweep of your rival. So I think for me, and I think I'm back in my mom's good graces now. I'm going to go with the Patriots on this one.
All right, Austin, give us your final thoughts because you said you had more to add to this.
Yeah, I just don't. The New England's only played 3 teams with a winning record, and 2 of them are the Steelers and Panthers. So they've taken care of business, but I don't think it's enough for me to say I trust them in the level of this matchup yet. Like, we haven't seen them in a game like this, so I can't say I trust them. We've seen Josh Allen and the Bills in this situation plenty of times. For me to trust that Josh Allen himself, I don't care he has no receivers to do. Last week he did it running. He can do that again this week. He doesn't need a receiver to do that. So I'm not saying New England can't. I'm just saying as they've taken care of business, but nothing like this this year for them, for me to warrant any kind of trust.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Buffalo Bills, if anything, this is going to be a very legit shot for the Patriots right at the end of the season where you kind of need to know if you're a legit football team. So I'm there with you. I just think this Bills team has always, it seems like when they need to actually take care of business, they need to win games that they're supposed to. They have losses against, the Falcons. Again, they've already lost one game to New England in Buffalo. They've dropped a game against Miami. Weirdly enough, they lost against the Texans 3 weeks ago. So there's games where they should take care of business and then they don't. And sure, they had a really good win against, the Bengals last week that would show, hey, Buffalo's getting hot at the right time. And then, yeah, sure, Buffalo took care of Pittsburgh. But let's be honest, those 2 teams are at the bottom level of their own division, and they're not necessarily a playoff team. So the same argument that I would say, like you have for the Patriots of no true contenders, I need to see Buffalo. Can they go up against a legit playoff team with really not that great of a defense and an offense that really stutters when it shouldn't? Like, outside of, again, James Cook and Josh Allen, they really don't have a great passing offense. And Josh Allen continuing to play superhero ball is not going to get them that far, even if it is in the wild card, a division, whatever. But I understand, like, the Patriots side of it. I'm just saying Buffalo right now, they're teetering on, like, they could lose this game just because, like, again, they're going up against a legit team, or not a legit team, but a good team. And the Patriots are just getting hot and they have all the momentum on their side, is my point. But okay. All right, guys. So let's dive into our locks and upsets of the week. So each of us are going to pick a lock and an upset for this week 15 matchup. Caleb, I want you to pick the first lock or upset of the week.
I'm gonna go Eagles over the Raiders. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go Texans over the Cardinals. That'll be my
as a lock.
Yeah.
Okay. Corey,
This is the Broncos over the Packers as an upset.
is that? Well, I mean, technically they're only a point and a half favorite.
No.
Yeah, but
right.
this is the first time in NFL history that a team with a 10-game home game win streak is going to be an underdog at home. So,
And Sean Payton's using
is
that.
wild. Oh,
Yeah, check down galore on this game for Sean Payton for sure. All right,
So-
Austin, who's your lock and upset?
My upset is going to be the Saints over the Panthers.
Wild.
Okay, Saints over the Panthers, and then Matt.
my lock is the Eagles over the Raiders.
That shouldn't even be allowed.
All right, fine. I'll change it up. Give me the Seahawks over the Colts. Old Man River is not going to make it.
All right, Corey, did you give one?
I did.
Yes, you said the Broncos.
Okay, sorry.
He's an
So
upset. Oh yeah.
okay, I guess technically then, if we're going off a point spread, I'm choosing the Chargers over the Chiefs for the upset of the week. Chiefs are favored by 6 in
Yep.
Arrowhead, but I'm going to choose the Chargers on the upset.
I don't
So-
blame you. That was if I didn't, that was going to be what I was going to go with if the Broncos. So I mean, we were on the same wavelength on that one.
I just didn't want to talk about the Chiefs anymore.
dang! I should have said that.
All right, guys, our final segment of the show is sponsored by JBW Solutions. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com today to get all safety compliant with OSHA, long haul truck driving, anything for your business or your place of work. Please visit jbwsolutionsllc.com. So this is safe or not safe. We're going to give you guys some games and some teams, I suppose, and you guys are going to tell us if they are safe or not safe. All right, let's do this. Matt, are the Bears safe or not safe? They are going against the Browns today.
Oh, they're safe.
Okay.
Oh,
Caleb,
wow.
Yeah, they're safe.
Corey.
I'm going to say they're not safe.
Oh, okay. You think this is an upset game?
I do, because Shadir's been playing really well, and obviously that Browns defense is really well. Caleb Williams hasn't looked the greatest either, so we'll see.
Okay. Austin?
Yeah, they're not safe. You know my boy. You know I ride or die with the Browns. Mostly die with the Browns.
It depends how many sacks does Garrett get, I think is the next question, but we'll save that for the last segment as well.
Smart.
I'm going to go with the Bears are safe. I think this is in Chicago, and I think Ben Johnson's going to have just the right medicine to get them back on track from their loss last week. I think they played the Packers, right? They played the Packers last week and lost, no?
Yeah, they did. They played the Packers and lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be a good get back on track game for Ben Johnson and the crew. So, all right, next game. This is huge NFC implications. We've got the Lions going to LA playing against the Rams. So let's go. Austin, safe or not safe? Rams.
Rams are safe.
Okay, Corey.
It's the Rams.
It's the Rams versus the Lions in LA.
Oh, well, the Rams are safe. Yes, the loss.
Okay. Caleb?
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're not. I'm gonna say not safe.
The Rams are not safe, okay?
Yes.
Matt?
I'm going the Rams are safe.
All right. I'm going to go with the Rams are not safe in this game. I think Lions are playing desperate today. So, all right, final team. And it's only a team just because it's America's team. So it's the Cowboys. Are they safe or not safe this week? So Caleb, I'll let you answer this one.
They're playing
I'm
the
gonna say-
Vikings.
I'm gonna say
And they're
not
playing
safe.
the Vikings, I think, on Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
They're not safe?
I'm gonna say not safe. Yeah, not safe.
You think J.J. McCarthy is going to throw it all over the yard?
No.
No? Okay, cool. All right. Matt, safe or not
Low
safe?
scoring.
I'm gonna go not safe.
Okay. Corey?
They're safe.
Austin?
JJ McCarthy's ass. He's so bad.
Not to the Commanders. Yeah, no, my Vikings. Cowboys aren't safe.
Cowboys aren't safe?
No.
All right. What I almost now want to know what are your keys to victory for the Vikings, but we don't have enough time for the show. But Cowboys are safe. Yeah, I think it's pretty short, sweet, to the point. I'm actually starting their defense in a fantasy league because I don't trust JJ McCarthy in that offense. So Cowboys safe this week.
This is JJ McCarthy's time to come alive.
That's right. This would be the game he throws for 400.
It's
Right?
about as likely he goes off as Phillip Rivers goes off.
This is technically his rookie. This is technically his rookie year, rookie of the week.
Cowboys defense is still ass.
Yeah. All right.
Matt,
This segment was
right there.
What's up?
You're getting ready to go on a little tangent right there.
I was.
all right, guys. This segment was sponsored by JBW Solutions. Again, visit JBWSolutionsLLC.com for all things safety compliant. So, closing words, you guys. This is the final segment before we go into our picks. So, Matt, what is your bold statement for Week 14?
Riley Moss comes away with 2 interceptions.
Or PIs?
Don't you shush.
You shut your bearded mouth.
Okay. So Riley Moss gets 2 interceptions. All right. Caleb, what's your bold statement for Week 15?
I'm gonna say Joe Burrow throws for 375 and 3 touchdowns.
Hope so.
Damn. I hope so too. That'd be great for my fantasy team.
True.
All right.
True.
Corey, statement?
RJ Harvey has 200 all-purpose yards against the Packers.
Okay.
Eat shit, Packers.
Corey, I mean, Austin.
I'm gonna make these really quick because I have 2 now. Brother made me mad earlier. My first one is Josh Allen has 6 total touchdowns this weekend to shut people like Cody up. I just said you earlier because you went New England.
That's fine.
My second one, since my brother was talking to S on Toyotathon, Jordan Love finishes with 4 total touchdowns and no turnovers.
LOL.
Nah.
Toyotathon, baby.
If that, well, God, I wish we can do a live
Next week
during
I'll
a
get
watch.
back on the Toyotathon theme.
We can live during Toyotathon.
All right. My bold statement is Saquon Barkley is going to go for 200 all-purpose yards against the Raiders. So
That'd be cool. Cool.
That's not really bold. That's going to happen.
it's an easy one. I didn't want to pick.
It's bold.
I didn't want to pick the
okay?
Miles Garrett one because I thought Austin was going to go with Miles Garrett
Now,
bold prediction.
If you were going to say like Kenny Pickett's going to throw for 300 yards against the Eagles, then that's like, okay, that's some the balls
Or
on this.
JJ McCarthy, rookie of the week.
No, it's more likely that Bo Nix is going to throw 4 interceptions than Kenny Pickett throwing 300 yards against the Eagles. So no.
Yeah, Cody, I'm taking this week off of Miles Garrett because since I've been blasting Miles Garrett bold predictions and stuff, he's only done like 1 or 2 sacks in a game. To get back on track with 4 or 5.
Only 1 or 2 sacks because he'd still be on pace to break the record. That's fine.
He doesn't like my brother talking about his sack all the time.
All right, Corey, let's go ahead and get your AFC West prediction for the Chiefs and the Chargers. Who do you got?
Yeah, the Chiefs have kind of effed me the last couple of weeks. So I'm going with the Chargers.
Okay, Austin.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Matt.
Excuse you. Oh,
I know. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I think the Chargers are just too beat up right now. I like the Chiefs defense. I like them at home. I'm going to go Chiefs.
Okay, Caleb.
Chargers every day.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers on this one. All right, Matt, Eagles or Raiders?
Eagles.
Can we just make this
Caleb?
quick? I'm taking the Raiders.
The Raiders aren't even taking the Raiders.
Are we all just taking the Eagles? Because I'm not taking the Raiders this week.
Yeah.
I already put that on my thing as all Eagles.
Okay. All right,
Brutal
Austin, then
season.
you can kick us off with the Broncos and Packers. Who you got?
Toyota-thon, baby.
All right, Packers. Corey?
It's a clown question, bro. It's Broncos.
Caleb?
Packers.
Ooh, all right. Matt?
Broncos.
This
Off
said
the
mile
leg of
high, right?
Lutz.
Yeah,
It is. Off the leg
All
of Lutz.
Big
Wow.
nuts.
It's a
I'm gonna take-
McManus game.
Good. He
I'm
can
gonna
keep
take-
this like he does for the Packers then.
Yeah. I'm taking Broncos in this one at home. I trust them a little bit more. But I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game for all things considered. It's going to be a defensive matchup for sure.
All day.
All right. All day. All right, guys. That is it for our Sunday morning pregame show. We want to thank you guys for joining us on West War Room Rivals. If you're watching right now, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X. So we do lives periodically through the week. I know the guys here on the screen, they do it on their respective pages on TikTok and stuff. So definitely go follow everyone on the screen. Yeah, whichever you guys are at. We're all pointing in the wrong direction now.
It's
But
Caleb.
anyways,
He's our TikTok star.
yeah, he's definitely getting
It's
them.
our
And so
little
is
glass of water.
Austin's got an illegitimate girlfriend out there in Vietnam now. So
Yeah,
that's
you
awesome.
know, I'm in Vietnam and I've been
He
gone
has
for
a
7
hip friend.
months.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and thank some partners before we get before we get canceled on this week. Let's thank you for Beard Club for being partners with us. If you see Austin's beard, that's probably what's getting him all this love on
He
TikTok.
groomed it.
Yeah,
I did.
Looks nice. All right, shout out to Beard Club for the partnership. Also, Shank It Golf as well. Visit the partners down below. There's links below for exclusive deals in the links. And now with Christmas around the corner, definitely some great gift options there for you guys. Badger Barrel as well. Matt, hit him with the slogan.
In a world of butterflies, be a badger.
Nailed it. They sent us out some smokers for the season, and Matt sent us a lovely photo of a whole chicken, and it looks like he has a tri-tip smoking
I
yesterday.
do,
Is that
yeah.
right? All
I
right.
did, yeah. Yeah. By
All
the
right.
way, go Navy. Suck
yeah.
it, Army. Respectfully.
For those tuning in on the Sunday morning, Navy did beat Army yesterday in their inaugural game. So shout out to Navy for the victory. So carrying on with the partnerships now, we are no longer going to shout out the other 4 named apparel company because of our new sponsor, Rival Codes. Again, visit rivalcodes.com today. Use Rival Codes 10 to get 10% off of all of your merchandise that you do purchase. And this is just, I'm actually really excited for this Rivals and Rivals partnership that we have with Rival Code. So visit them down below again at rivalcodes.com. I want to shout out Troy with Field Ops Kansas. Again, if you guys are looking for any field marking or league line creations for your games, please visit Troy at Field Ops. And then Emporia State Federal Credit Union, they are the War Room's banking of choice. Shout out to Angie, and thank you guys so much for the love and support that you guys have given us in this season. I can't believe we're almost done with 2025, and it all started with Angie and their team believing in us. So thank you. And then Jeff at JBW Solutions LLC. We can't thank them enough for their partnership. We are recording out of the JBW Solutions right now. So Jeff and the crew, they have been probably our biggest supporters, and we can't thank them enough for what they've done to us in this season so far. And 2026 is going to just be even bigger. Matt?
Just quick shout out to JBW Solutions. They just opened up their second location down there in New Mexico. So congratulations to them on their new site.
Shout out to Jeff and the crew for expanding. We love to see that. Again, guys, partner up with them so that way they can feel the love and support that you guys give to us. Again, go visit JBW Solutions LLC.com to get all safety compliance, including OSHA, long haul truck driving, any safety requirements for your place of work. Visit JBW Solutions LLC.com. All right, boys, that is it. Let's go and watch some football. Happy Sunday, and we will see you guys on Tuesday.